Real quick, y'all. I know a lot of you hit me up and you have been through a lot of trauma. DCF, CPS, they haven't listened to your kids. They make you sound like the mad one. They take your kids for trying to protect your children. They ignore the complaints over and over. And as we can see, they never seem to give a fuck until they have to give a fuck. So what I decided to do is something a little different. Let's prevent it. I know a lot of you send me cases all the time you want me to cover, and I try to cover as many as I can. And most of them are because of the failure of the judges, DCF, CPS, the police. I want you guys to send me all the times that DCF has fucked up, Child Protective Services, the police, every time the judges where they don't listen to y'all. They don't listen to the children. They keep putting them in danger until they really get hurt over and over and something tragic happens. And the first ones I'm going to show you today are where DCF failed these children horribly. And the way we're going to continue to protect our children is stop letting these incompetent people who do not care, maybe they get off on the fact that our children are getting hurt, or the ones that are standing up for our children, they make y'all look like madmen, mad women. They just put y'all out on the shelf like y'all are crazy for doing the right thing. We're going to report them. So if you have a case, the way we're all going to do it like this as a family to protect our children and keep these snakes out of our government agencies that are supposed to protect our children is like this. DM me and show me that after you've witnessed and watched the case and done your research, that you made multiple complaints, warnings, shared, whatever you had to do to show the world what this person is doing in these cities, states, and districts that are hurting our kids, not protecting our children. Let's get into some other cases right now. All videos will include the agent that failed the children, or should I say agents, or sheriffs, or cops, police, judges, so on and so on. Those that want to remain anonymous, that's fine. But make sure when you send me a case that you want me to cover, and the DCF investigator or CPS or the sheriff, the judges, you show that you help these people out by making multiple complaints, sharing it all over social media. Let's protect these children. So let's get into the first cases about some of these DCF, CPS, and sheriffs. So let's get into the first cases where the children were failed by every agency, police department, sheriff's office, judges, Child Protective Services, investigators. We will expose all of them and hold them accountable, as we will show them the power we have to protect our children from these monsters that should never be in any of these positions. They've made you guys look crazy, the mothers, the fathers, the aunts, the uncles, the teachers. They take the kids away from the ones protecting them and bring them right into the hands of the monsters, and all they get is a lousy suspension. This case was given to me by the neighbor of Nubia Berahona, West Palm Beach, February 11th, 2011. A child would be found dead. The assigned investigators, Andrea Fleury, DCF Child Protective Investigator. Y'all make sure y'all remember that name. The judge involved in the case was Sydney Letterman, who criticized Fleury, noting she ended the investigation on a weekend and declared the children safe even without proper contact. 10-year-old Nubia, who would die, and her twin brother Victor, who barely survived. The twins had a troubled history, born to a mother with substance abuse problems, bounced between guardians before being adopted by Jorge and Carmen Barjona. DCF had previous involvement with the family. The warning signs: unexplained missed medical appointments for Nubia despite her chronic health needs. Horror unfolds. The very day a DCF investigator visited, the Barajonas beat Nubia to death. Her body was later found in a garbage bag, and her twin brother Victor was hospitalized with severe burns and bruises from chemical exposure in the same vehicle. A review panel condemned DCF's response as inept and a failure of common sense and listening. A former DCF head said hotline staff treated abuse reports like a low-cost call center. Here's the judge as she thoroughly chews out the DCF agents. Don't cry now, Andrea Fleury. She got fired, but that doesn't mean shit. You know why? Because everybody was reporting her. You know why she's crying right here? Not because the little kid died, because that judge I just showed you said, no, we won't reinstate you as a DCF agent. And that's why she's crying. But guess what she did? She was the frontline DCF investigator who responded to abuse reports but did not interview the children. Closed the case late on a Friday when the children were tragically found just days later. She was fired in March 2011 for poor performance and negligence after losing her appeal. Can you imagine they even gave her an appeal? That's her face crying, right? But she wasn't crying about these failures. Let me tell you some of the red flags that she missed. And she only cries because they didn't give her job back. She ignored multiple red flags, including bruises, hunger, hair loss, school reports, failed to interview the children away from their alleged abusers, dismissed a call from an 11-year-old autistic child suggesting abuse, closed the case without following up on serious allegations. After watchdog review, Flairley was fired upon appeal denial. They called DCF's handling inept and failure of common sense. They also criticized the hotline protocols and toxic focus on call metrics over safety, meaning they didn't give a fuck about anything but getting off work. They don't care that these children's life are at stake. We must report them, expose them, send this to everyone you can. This is called crocodile tears. She's not crying because of what she did or how the children were beaten, one was killed, and all of the failures that she did and how DCF was completely exposed. Nope, she's crying because this judge here didn't reinstate her. But don't let that judge fool you. She only did something because she had to. Like I always say, they don't give a fuck until they have to give a fuck. If she cares so much, none of this would have happened. Because you're the judge. It's your job to make sure your workers are working. Judge Sidney Lederman, seen in this picture attending a public child welfare event in Miami, alongside political figures and child advocates. As said before, she would later preside over the fallout of the Nubia Barahona case, publicly blasting DCF's handling of the investigation, the failures of caseworker Andrea Fleury. Yet you were here with all the donors, all these advocates, acting like you were doing the greatest thing on earth. But yet a child was getting beaten to death and killed because of all the lapse of your DCF agents. This one right here. Let's expose another one.
You put him in the vehicle so I could take him to where there's a car seat.
Watch this, a cop has to stop him.
Around the corner here.
Can I drive him? He's too young for this.
In this dirty car. Y'all heard what happened. I'm gonna play it for y'all again. These are the ones protecting our children. Giovanna Dawson about to put a child in a car without a car seat. A 4-year-old child. A police officer had to stop her. And she still was arguing. Dirty car, filthy.
Take him to where there's a car seat.
How far is your college?
Around the corner here.
Can I drive him? He's too young for this.
Yes.
Can I drive him?
Yes.
He's too young for this. Can I drive him? He's too young for this.
This is her. Remember, everyone that I've mentioned in these videos, report them. And I will post more videos that y'all send me, and we'll keep the cycle going. This is her. The one that wanted to put a child in the car without a car seat. This is her from the side view. Stay out. Stay free. Let's protect our children. Let's go.